This simple one-page business plan is all you need to clarify your niche, uncover your best revenue opportunities, and create content that converts. In fact, this is the same simple 7 steps that helped me go from 0 to 6 figures online and will help you map out your first 10K over the next 25 minutes. Hey, I'm Jason, faith-based entrepreneur, timestamps and resources below, along with a link to our AI-powered one-page business plan that allows you to launch your first profitable income stream in just a few hours per week. Check that out via the link in the description and cards. Now, when it comes to writing your business plan, figuring out your best next steps, we don't need GBT to give us a 45-page Harvard-style business plan, right? It's just a bunch of jargon that we're not really going to use anyway. So we're going to 80-20, nay 90-10 this process and focus on just 7 things you need to figure out in order to have a solid business plan to move forward and do the most important thing, which is take action as opposed to just keep analyzing and analyzing. And because we're entrepreneurs, we can start wherever we want. We're actually going to start with step 2 because it's more fun to talk about revenue streams than coming up with our customer avatars. So let's go ahead and dive in. Now, when it comes to how your business is going to generate revenue, these are 8 different, I should say 7 since one is other, but these are 8 different avenues that you could go about generating revenue with your business. Now, we'll get to the specific offers and the specific types of revenue streams. Well, what's important is to kind of shift our mindset away from being an affiliate business or a digital product business or a coaching or services business and just look at these as revenue streams. So you have one business and then you get to choose how your business makes money. So we get to have multiple streams of income with one business. We don't need 7 businesses for 7 streams of income. That's a lot of extra work. So what we'll do here is we'll just focus on the first 4. So that's going to be our sponsorships, our products, memberships, and coaching. Now inside of here, we can actually zero in a little more for where to actually start. Now eventually you can do all of these. And if you're already doing something or you already have something live, definitely keep doing that, right? One of the worst things you can do is pause your content or pause your sales because you're trying to figure something out. Just keep the plane in the air, as we say, for our business. I guess the plane is our business. I should have thought that through more. So here is where we should focus. We should focus on affiliates and AdSense, then templates, and then one-on-one coaching. And so if you're just getting started, these are the 4 places to look at. And one of them is pretty much 100% passive, depending upon your content strategy. So let's kick things off with sponsorship. So this is going to be the quickest path to revenue because we don't actually have to make our own products or offers. We do need to be making content though, but we'll get to that when we talk about our Attract blueprint. And so of course, affiliate marketing is the easiest place to start because it allows you to promote products and services from other companies. So you can say link in the description, check out Go High Level, which I like to do a lot. And then if someone finds value and signs up, I receive a commission and High Level receives a new customer, and it's kind of a win-win. I don't have to make a product, they can deal with the product, and I can just share something that I like to use. And so there are lots of different affiliate opportunities. Yes, your niche has affiliate opportunities. And if you really don't know where to start, then Amazon is the easiest place to start. They're going to pay the lowest out of everybody, but having some sort of promotion to include in some of your content is better than nothing. And so that is, of course, the fastest path to start in your first stream. And so your second stream can be something like YouTube AdSense. Now, of course, if you're not making YouTube content or you're not making content for a platform that pays creators to make that content, that's totally okay. I wouldn't actually go about choosing a platform just because it provides revenue. You should always choose a platform that makes the most sense to the way you like to make content or how much time you have to make content. But again, we'll get to that when we talk about how you're going to attract your customers and grow your audience. But the fun part here is going to be creating your own offers. And so when it comes to creating your own offers, you can make a template, an ebook, or create a full-blown course. But when you're just starting, templates are definitely the way to go. It's much better to have 3 products for $5 than 1 product for 30. Like, you want to spread your opportunities for sales across as many products as possible when you're starting, because you want to figure out what the market actually wants, what your audience actually wants. So you can make a lot of different types of templates. So to speed things up, here is a prompt that you can use. So just take a screenshot of it, and then you can upload it to whatever AI tool you use, and it will run through the prompt. We also have like really tiny text in there as well, because if we tried to put all the prompts in the description, we would run out of text space. So that was our solution. You can just take a screenshot of that below, upload it to your AI, and then it will run through coming up with a bunch of digital product ideas for your specific business situation or niche. And so what you want to do is just come up with 3 to 5 that you can start with. And so now you have some affiliate ideas, hopefully. Here's a screenshot to grab some affiliate offer ideas as well, this prompt. I forgot to mention that earlier. So you've got a prompt for figuring out affiliates, you've got a prompt for figuring out your digital products. And then the final revenue stream that you can start with is the easiest and simplest that you can literally do right now with just one post or email, and that is coaching, because it is just selling your time for a fixed amount. And so you can offer a 45, 60-minute, or 90-minute session for a specific cost. And this is one of the easiest ways to get started generating revenue with your business, but it's very hard to scale. And so something that I like to talk about with students is, yeah, it's really cool when you can start making some side income when you're part-time in your business, but just keep in mind that every hour you're spending one-on-one with a coach, you're not spending creating a digital product, finding a new affiliate offer, or creating more content that will actually scale over time. So if you're still part-time in your business and you're willing to be a little more patient, which is kind of a virtue when it comes to growing these businesses, then I would actually recommend sticking with your affiliates and digital products. But hey, you can do coaching as something to start generating an income stream right off the bat. So again, link in the cards in the description to our full-blown business plan that has a lot more prompts and examples of different types of products that you can create. These are just the ones we recommend starting with, and it's going to definitely help you get to your first 10K in automated income. Asterisk, unless you decide to do coaching. Obviously, that part's not necessarily automated. So now that we've talked about product, we need to take a step back and talk about actually the more important thing, which is people. That is, who are we making all these products for? And ultimately, who are we going to make content for? Now, this would be a video in and of itself, and YouTube Analytics has clearly showed me that most of our audience does not care about this particular topic. So instead of going through how to create a customer avatar, here are a couple of examples of just a simple one sentence you can use to clearly define who you are creating content for and creating products for. Because when you zero in on the people aspect, the products and profits follow easily. And so you just fill in this sentence. Here's a prompt to do that. We even have a prompt for you. So take a screenshot, you're good to go. And we just want to figure out, who are we creating content and products for? What results are they trying to achieve? What roadblocks? What are the struggles they're facing? And what's the ultimate benefit, the ultimate thing that they want? And so when it comes to creating your content, creating products, this one sentence is going to help guide you and make sure that you stay focused on who you're creating the content and products for, as opposed to getting caught up in the process and forget that at the end of the day, we're creating a video post or a social post or a template for someone to actually use. It's really easy to get stuck in the weeds of creating and forgetting that we're creating for real people and we should focus on them, not necessarily how much fun the process is of creating. And before we move on to our content plan, there is one more step in better understanding who you're creating content for, and it's a little counterintuitive, and that's something I like to call the white glove solution. So what you want to think about is, if you were to make the ultimate offer, the one where you did everything under the sun for your ideal customer, your ideal audience member, what would that offer look like? And the reason that it's so valuable to go through this process is it helps you kind of map out what people might actually want or what they might need. And once you have kind of this, it doesn't have to be polished. You're never going to post this, but it gives you kind of this nice context that you can use moving forward with your AI prompts to tell AI about your customer, and then about the types of products or services that you'd like to offer in the future. Because AI is going to do a much better job of creating content and brainstorming for you if you're able to tell it, hey, this is the best offer that I think we could make in the future. So let's use that as our, North Star and create ideas and content and products to essentially eventually get us there. And so it's a little counterintuitive because you go, I'm not interested in making a $20,000, done for you service or whatever it winds up costing. But just thinking about that now will help you in terms of really understanding what your customers will care about, and helps AI give you things that is relevant to what you ultimately want to help people achieve, as opposed to just the random ideas and sludge that will come out without any context. And so now that we have some ideas of what our revenue streams will be, we have some idea of who we're creating products and content for, let's talk about creating the actual content, because this is a lot of work. Creating content is work. Even in the age of AI, you still have to read everything AI gives you. So when it comes to creating content, you pretty much have two platforms that are still really good for organic reach. And what I mean by that is the ability to just post content and actually have people see it, unless you're gonna run paid ads. So if you're sitting on like 10 or 20K that you're willing to spend on paid ads, then you could go ahead and skip this section. But for the rest of us, we're gonna need to find a platform that allows us to grow organically. Because if you've ever tried to grow on something like Facebook or Instagram, it can feel like pulling your hair out. But LinkedIn and YouTube actually still provide a tremendous opportunity, even if you're starting from zero. And so this is a short little diagram, the 5, 10, 20 strategy, and it's really simple. How much time a week do you have? Right? So even if you think YouTube is the best strategy, if you don't have at least 10 hours, like really you should be around 15 to 20 to devote to creating content, growing that channel, then it's probably not a good strategy. We should probably just start with LinkedIn, that you can do in less than 5 hours a week, or X or Threads or whatever other text-based social platform you can start with. And so to help you get started with creating content, here's a prompt to help start writing some of that content for you. And remember, just because you see big influencers in your niche or industry on every single platform all the time, nobody starts there, right? You have to pick one to really zero in, really focus, dial in, and learn, and then you can expand from there. It's possible to repurpose LinkedIn content to, shorts, and it's possible to repurpose YouTube over to text, right? You're not missing out because you're not posting everywhere. And unless you are somehow have a full-time schedule to devote to growing your business, you're probably going to be like most of us when we started. You're part-time. So we need to make sure we make the most of the time that we have. And we have to balance, creating content with all the other things we need to do, like creating products and growing our revenue streams. And so when it comes to choosing your strategy, just remember that it's okay that time is a constraint. We all are limited on time. So we just need to choose a strategy that's going to allow us to be consistent. So again, here's the prompt that you can screenshot, copy for yourself to help jumpstart the process of creating content for whatever platform you ultimately decide. Although this one's designed for text-based like Threads, LinkedIn, and X. Now, speaking of content, whatever type you choose, you're probably going to use AI to create content, which is awesome. But now we need AI to actually sound like you and use your story. And so this is something I like to call the signature brand framework. And every famous entrepreneur has some version of this, right? They might not call it this, but every entrepreneur that is famous has some sort of story that they use as a part of building their brand. Because ultimately, we don't just want to create content, we also want to build a brand. So here are some examples to show you what I mean. So we have Robert Kiyosaki, who is known for learning money principles from his rich dad. So when he left the Marines, he was able to make money with real estate. Then you have Gary Vaynerchuk with his dad's wine business. You have Hormozi with falling asleep, standing up, trying to get his gym off the ground. And then of course you have Russell Brunson with his potato gun. Although I don't know if Russell still uses that story, but that was something that he used a while back. And then jumping forward, here are some other influencers you might have come across. And of course, you can always pause if you want to read through them. I pretty much took their story and kind of put it into the same format. So you can see how all you need to do is kind of complete this sentence for yourself. and then you can give it to AI, and AI is going to be able to take this sentence and concept and weave it into your content. So every post you make isn't just a bunch of information or another inspirational thing. It's a little piece of your story, and it makes sure that you and your experience, even if you just started last week, you and your experience makes it into your content. That's so important to making sure that, of course, your content doesn't sound like AI sludge, but also you're building a broader story and an actual brand people can start to relate to and get behind, right? So, for example, mine here at the bottom, shameless plug, I used YouTube marketing tutorials and ActOS, which is our membership strategy, to overcome my failed registered advisor practice and pivot to build a six-figure agency and automated digital product income, all unlocking location independence. Wow, is that a mouthful? That's not very good. Like, you probably wouldn't put that in a post, right? But in terms of having one succinct sentence of, this is my current story, which, by the way, it might change in a couple of years, and being able to share that with AI will really, really help you move forward with creating content that is actually more human and you. And of course, you can always pause the video, screenshot some of these examples and say, hey, GPT, Claude, X, whatever you're using, or Grok, not X, go ahead and write a sentence like this for me and my story, right? So that's why we make so many graphics. Just take a screenshot and tell AI to do it for you, right? There's no harm in that. And something else you're going to want to tell AI to do, and then we'll get to our conversion strategy here, is to write you a unique edge or a unique selling proposition. And so essentially what you want AI to do, here's the prompt to do that for you, is to come up with a one sentence elevator pitch of you or your brand or maybe one of your important products. And so you can, of course, use this when it comes to figuring out your sales copy in the future. And you can also use this as a tagline for your social channels or as a call to action inside of the posts and videos that you're making. And so this just makes sure that you think ahead of time how to effectively and quickly communicate the value you provide with one of your offers or for an affiliate offer. It's always a good idea to have those kind of written out ahead of time. So when it comes time to write a post or record a video, you kind of know what to say, you know what benefits and results and roadblocks to talk about, as opposed to just on the fly saying, oh, I think it's really cool to help you grow faster, right? Like, not the best sales pitch in the world. And it's especially important if you're new to sales. See, I'm getting overly excited. It's especially important if you're new to sales and you don't want to sound salesy. And speaking of sales, let's talk about your Convert Blueprint. Because no matter what revenue models you choose or revenue streams you have, whether it's one or all 8 or 7, you're going to need to use a strategy similar to this one to actually grow your email list and make offers and make pitches for whatever it is that you have. So let's go through this step by step because it's virtually the same for any type of revenue stream you choose. So of course, it all starts with content. After all, if nobody knows your website exists, then this whole thing kind of falls apart, right? So whether you decided to go text-based, LinkedIn, Threads, or X, maybe you decided to do YouTube, or maybe you do podcasting if that's your thing. I realize I kind of glossed over podcasting because I'm so biased to the first two, but maybe you do want to do podcasting. So wherever you decide this is going to be where I grow my audience, this is going to be where I create content, awesome. So the second step to this is going to be driving people from your platform of choice over to your website. Now, of course, just saying, hey, come to my website and buy a bunch of cool stuff, probably not a great sales pitch, right? So what we're going to do is we're actually going to promote our email newsletter. So we'll just quickly create something called a landing page saying, hey, I have an email newsletter. I send it once or twice a week, and I have some pretty cool stuff that I think you're going to find value in. Now, if you're wondering, like, what should I put in the email newsletter? What should I talk about? What should my headline be? Well, actually, in step 5, when you came up with your unique edge and that prompt, you can literally just take that sentence and make it the headline for your newsletter. And that's what your newsletter is about. Then when you comes time to, what do I actually say in my newsletter? Well, when we went over step number 1 and we talked about creating that perfect white glove offer, look at that list of things that you would deliver and then just talk about them. Just choose one and then talk about them. Hopefully that felt kind of cool, like full circle. I was like writing this out and like, oh, it's going to be a cool drop. Like they're going to see how it connects together. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe that's probably just me. So anyway, we are going to create a email newsletter and we're going to promote it to wherever it is we're creating content. Now, there are some other strategies I like to talk about with lead magnets and landing pages and one-time offer pages and all that fun stuff you can do later, because one of the simplest things to do when you're just starting is saying, hey, I have a cool email newsletter once a week, and it's really easy for you to start that, and it's really easy to promote that across your social channels. And people kind of know what they're getting. It's an email newsletter, they're expecting to hear from you. It's pretty cut and dry. And what's cool is once we have this newsletter, then we have something called an email list. And the email list is where you can start promoting affiliate offers. So that's the first thing you can promote, revenue stream number one. You can start promoting your digital products. That's revenue stream number two. Then once you have 5 to 10 digital products, you can bundle them together into a membership site. So that's revenue stream number three. And of course, you can do services or consulting. We're already up to 5 revenue streams, and all you're doing is promoting your newsletter. You don't have to make a bunch of sales pages or some fancy salesy tactics, right? All you say is, hey, sign up for my newsletter. I talk about cool stuff. We already went over what you can talk about in that newsletter. So you're pretty much covered here, and you have a full system for creating your content and driving people to grow your email list. And then on your email list, you can send out whatever revenue stream offers that you have. And so with that, you have completed 6 of the 7 steps. So please go ahead and hit that like button if you're still watching. And if you want more help with actually building out this conversion element that's essential to making sure your revenue streams actually get off the ground, then make sure you check out that link in the description to go high level. It comes with a 30-day free trial, and it includes our best training on how to get started creating all of these pages and these email automations. And we even have a course and digital product template in there, so you can literally just copy our strategy into your own account and you are off to the races. So the final step here is going to be, how much is this going to cost, right? So this one was actually really fun to put together because there are so many different softwares and solutions out there to run your business. But let's just 80-20, 90-10 it. Here's the list. This is what I think the absolute bare minimum to have a successful product business that can actually support 10K. So let's quickly go through the solutions. The first one I've already talked about. Go high level. It allows you to create your website, your landing pages, and your sales pages, something called upsells and downsells and order bumps. You'll get to all that fun stuff after your first couple of digital offers. It also allows you to send emails. You can host your courses and your communities and your digital products there. So it's kind of like an all-in-one solution that does pretty much everything you need to run this type of business. And it also has a social media scheduler in there too. So you can crack open that 30-day free trial and actually start scheduling your LinkedIn content like now. So the next one I recommend is Google Workspace, because you're going to want to upgrade your Google Drive from the free plan, which you may or may not be on, and actually have a business email. And so sending emails from your name at gmail.com, that's not going to cut it. You need your own domain to send marketing emails and actually look professional when you're talking to potential sponsors or potential collaborations with affiliates. And so the only other expenses here are going to be things like if you decide to incorporate or be an LLC, your tax and the accounting software, all that boring stuff, that can be anywhere from like $300 to $900 to set up. And so that's all we have for the fixed column. And this is actually a reflection of the tools I actually use in my own business. So a variable expense, I do think you should pay for one AI tool. I don't know which one you like. I don't know which one you want to use, but you're going to see a significant difference in the quality of what you get from the free versions of these tools. So it's definitely worth the $20 a month. Is it worth $250? Probably not. I don't think AI is there yet as the recording of this video, but $20 to one of these and you're good. Just choose one, stick with it. You don't need to switch every every time a new model comes out. Then Canva, of course, pretty much all the graphics you've seen here were made in Canva. If you're really on a budget, you can use Google Slides to make some really basic graphics and diagrams. And then the final one is going to be something called Mailgun. And this is the service that allows you to send emails. And so Go High Level handles all of the automations and hosting of your content. And then they've partnered with Mailgun to actually send out your emails. And so that is a separate subscription. I know it's a little confusing because a lot of softwares like bundle everything together, but part of what allows High Level to be lower priced on the front end is you only pay for the emails that you actually send and use. So it is a little confusing and honestly a pain to set up the first time around, but then you wind up paying less and you should get better results with your emails. But I'm getting ahead of myself. That does it for all 7 steps of your 10K plan. And so whether you are just getting started or you're trying to figure out which path should I take here or which opportunity should you pursue, hopefully this plan has been helpful in adding some clarity, and at least some of the prompts that you can screenshot will be helpful in moving forward with your business. So comment below with any of your questions and check out that link to our full-blown AI-powered business plan that takes this to the next level. Way more prompts, way more deep dive questions to help you really flesh out your plan so you can get started with your first automated income stream in the next 30 days, along with that free trial to Go High Level. So hit that like button, subscribe for more guides just like this one, and until the next, keep building the business you love.